You are now tuned into the Sarah Elizabeth Show.
Allow me to be your Edgar Allan Poe.
Life's a bitch, and so am I.
This show's a bit like getting high.
Let me be your anchor when your mind's a little flimsy. So without further ado, welcome to the Whimsy. That'll do it.
Hello guys. Who's rocking with the whimsy wall, the budget background that's behind me right now? About 6 months ago, I think it was, I was having a conversation with my friend and I was just telling her how I was feeling mentally and what I was kind of like going through at the time, and she was like, yeah, you're depressed, like that sounds like depression. And I was like, shut up, bitch. Like, obviously I'm not depressed, like, come on. Let's not make light of that, because I was like, I know people who are depressed, and trust me, it's not got me. I was kind of like, no, just, shut up, bitch. And then as I would like go through a couple months later, I'd be talking to my friend, I'd be feeling better, and then I'd be talking to my friend about like how I was feeling at that time and describing my stuff, and another person would say like, oh yeah, so that's depression. And I was like, again, no, it's not. And I feel like with me, a lot of the time, because I very much underplay like how I'm feeling a lot of the time, in just an empathetic way, especially because of like how much bad shit is happening in the world right now and how many people are in horrific situations. I just sometimes I'm like, oh my god, like get a grip, because I'm very much aware of, I mean, it's good to be like this, but aware of your privilege in the sense of like my worst day of doom is probably someone's dream day, and it's just good. So I just be like, nah, I'm not gonna, like, I know people who have been like depressed, and so like, and it's not got me, you know what I mean? I was kind of like, just like, I wouldn't admit it, because I was like, you know what, like I've got these things that I need to be like grateful for, and yeah, it just didn't seem right to even admit it to myself that I was struggling, like, especially with everything going on and stuff. And while it is good obviously to be very aware of that, I had to just at a point be kind to myself and be like, yeah, no, I'm struggling, and I'm aware. So I've been gone. The podcast just disappeared. I've not been posting. Probably quite a few of you haven't noticed, because even though I want to let you know, it is very much in my nature to do a big like taking some time off. Real ones have got me number. Don't pop up unless like we're on that level. It's very within my nature to do a post like that, but I just lost. I feel like I definitely lost myself, and I feel like I had to go away for a little while to remember how to feel. And I have found the answer, and I'm going to come back and get what I'm saying there is, this is, guys, my song of the week on the podcast now, because by the way, this is officially to say the podcast is back and it's not going anywhere, and you can hold me to that. I've pre-recorded episodes, so you're going to see. And today I want to start by talking to you about all the shit that has changed my life over this has probably been the most transformative 6 months of my entire life. And the person that I thought, I don't know, I just want to get into like it, because with you guys, I feel like the one thing that I can never say that like, oh, I just fell out of love for social media because everyone was so horrible. Not me. I mean, lucky me. You guys have genuinely supported like every single thing I've done, whether it's some goofy skit or like whatever kind of like little thing I'm doing, you've supported it. So I'm very grateful for you guys for sticking around. And obviously I feel like you probably don't trust me very much, because I've not been very consistent. That's changing. It is back. I wanted to say like I love you so much, and all of you, genuinely, like I've got the best audience ever, and I do mean that. And with that, because I do feel such a close connection to you guys, I was like, I have to share with you what I've been going through, and in a way that it can help you, because I just feel I've got my whimsy back and it feels fucking great. But I want to kind of delve and just talk to you about it. Song of the week is a song by Stevie Nicks called Blue Denim. Listen, I'm cooking here, so allow me to cook. Someone said, can you please every single episode do a song of the week and stop gatekeeping your music taste? And I said, no worries, I will do that. In the song, there's this lyric, right? I don't want to get corny, but I'm gonna do it. I can feel me corn growing. There's a lyric that says, I'm going away for a little while to remember how to feel. And if I find the answer, I promise you, I'll come back and get you. And when I heard that lyric, right, I was like, well, damn, that is exactly what I need to do. I've lost myself. I don't feel passion for anything anymore. I wasn't feeling passion creating shit. I was consuming more than I created, which I'm going to talk about, by the way. I was going to influencer event. By the way, I still love a little influencer event, but I was around like other influencers genuinely being like, this is like an episode of Black Mirror. Like it genuinely is. There was bad energy. I felt bad energy about so many different things. I feel like I lost myself. I feel like I was giving advice. I was pumping out advice to people, but then I feel like a sack of shit and I'm not following the advice that I'm giving out, and that's toxic. As I started to really just not be a very nice person to be around, and I don't mean like a bully, never be me, but I mean just like I just wasn't, there was just so much going on, and I needed to go away for a little while. And I feel like I figured out what's up. I've been on genuinely like the last 6 months has genuinely just been, I can't even explain it. I can't explain like what I've learned, but I'm going to try in this episode. And I promise you, I'll come back and get you. And that's what I'm doing with the pod. Today, I'm going to kind of talk about every single thing. And then, of course, consequently through the episodes, I've got so much that I want to just get into. It's going to be fun. I'm going to do so much stuff. So I wanted to say thank you so much for being here. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever you're listening, I love you so, so much. I did think, oh gosh, when I come back, the algorithm never favours you when you take a break. So, like I said, even if it does seem like I'm begging on my hands and knees, whatever you're watching or listening on, if you could give me a little like, a little hype, a little comment at this stage, it really helps with the algorithm. I never have to ask this with you guys anyway, but I think because I've like taken a break, the algorithm says you're on your own, kid. You always have been. T-Swizzle reference, if you know, you know. So yeah, little comment just being like, glad you're back, bitch. But put like an asterisk where the I is on the bitch, just so it doesn't flag it as like spam or abuse. Or whatever. You can comment on Spotify now, tag me on your story if you're listening, I'll repost. All of that jazz goes a really long way. Hitting the like button on YouTube, it would mean a lot to me. I hate to beg, but here we are. Let me get my notes up. I've got notes because I do want to kind of go through it. You know, because I have had a podcast for a while and I've been giving advice out, I did realise about like 8 months ago, I was like, I'm giving so much advice, but and I always was kind of like that rock in my friend group as well, of like someone who would give advice and people would turn to me for stuff. But then I realised a lot of the time, a lot of the advice I was giving out, especially in a lot of my old content, and I do want to do this on the podcast where I like re-pull up my old content and kind of like speak on it from where I am now, because I do think now like a lot of the stuff that I would give advice on, it was true to me at the time, but I don't think I've always been in like the best place to be giving that advice. I think a lot of as I've softened, I definitely feel like I've softened as a person, and it does feel so good. So, and a lot of the time, now that I'm looking back on like some of the advice that I would give, or some of the things that I would like, I don't know, the opinions that I would have, it feels like it was coming from a place of like avoidance and like protecting myself. And now that has dropped, I just feel this it just feels like I've just let loose, you know? And it's so funny talking about like I'm kind of just softening, and it just feels so much better. Like it feels like the mask, not that I was wearing a mask, but in COVID times I was. But it just feels so good, like, and I feel like I've been on a transformative journey. And this is what I want to talk about today, just to give you a little bit of a nutshell. I've always had so many dreams and goals, and I needed to take like a big step back. But one of the worries, and I know a lot of people worry like this, is I was like, if I take a step back, I'm going to be behind. I'm going to be too old. It feels like you're in this rat race, doesn't it? Like a lot of the time when you, especially when you've got big goals and dreams, like you feel like you're in a rat race. Or even if like, just, it feels like if you take a step back, and a step back, you know that. Taking a step back looks different for every single person, by the way. But taking a step back can feel really scary, because it feels like you're wasting time, you're losing time, you're going to put yourself behind the other people. No one's slowing down. People are running marathons every second, and you think I can take a step back and just sit back and watch them run away with me? Hell no. But I saw this quote and I must share it. It said, do not be surprised. I'm going to talk about this and unpack it today. Don't be surprised when 1 month of alignment can bring you so much more than 1 year of hustle and grind ever did. Woo! Damn! When I read that, I just was like, oh, because that's what I feel like. I feel like I genuinely have had years where I've been like, I'm grinding. I'd wake up like sometimes with I'd have all this negative shit going on. I'd have things that I haven't dealt with. I've had bits of grief that I haven't dealt with. We'll talk about that as well. I'd have bits of like toxic mindsets where I'm like, you're not going to hurt me. I got my shield up. All these different toxic mindsets. I'd be like having all these like anxiety attacks, not dealing with them at all. My routine would be out of whack. I'm not treating my body with kindness. I'm overworking my body in the gym. We'll talk about all of this. But then, because I'm like, oh, but I want my goals, I really need my goals right now. I'd go into this grind mode. I'd wake up 3 a.m. I'd see a TikTok, someone be like, how to be that girl in 2025. I'd be like, yeah, it's the it girl season. Make my Pinterest board, wake up 5 a.m. I'm going to do this, 3 workouts today. I'm going to do my SMART goals, burn myself out in this grind mode. And then nothing would really happen. Because you think you've got to grind on like 100, but genuinely I do believe now, like I said, do not be surprised when even 1 week of just alignment, you shouldn't be in like this like rat race. Like 1 week of alignment brings you more than genuinely years of hustle has ever brought you. I want to talk about that as well. Do I sound like I'm like going crazy? Maybe I am. Shoot, we did. But that's that. And I wanted to say as well, as a little extra, so the podcast is back. This is the pod. The pod, you're going to see what's going to be on the pod. We've got a few features today. Okay? It's going to be really good. But I also have now and this is up and running, ready to go, so there will be a link in the description and everything, a second little Patreon exclusive podcast called Aftercare, because you guys know I like Aftercare, which is going to be where we take a little element of the main pod and dig a little deeper, strip the makeup off, put an eye mask on, chill, and just give you a little bit of aftercare from the main pod. You're gonna kind of like understand what that's about as we go forward. But yeah, that's another little thing that I just wanted to mention. So you'll see more about that as we go into the pod. But that is there. So without further ado, I hope I've kind of recapped what I want to be talking about today a little bit. I just feel like I lost the passion. I lost the passion for creating stuff. I did find myself like sucked into like the doom scrolling and comparing myself to people, which I would never normally do, and then just feeling like bad energy, feeling really out of whack with myself, and then I felt really uninspired. I felt like I was becoming a not very nice person to be around, as in like I was really short-tempered all the time when I was around people. I was letting people I felt more offended by things that I didn't used to. I feel like I just really lost myself. And then I also this realization, which I want to talk about today a little bit as well, even more, is when you don't show up for yourself in private, and I mean showing up for yourself mentally, physically, on all the things that I wasn't doing, it is like you're breaking a commitment with yourself. And what I mean by this, and it's like you're letting yourself down. And if you think about it like this, and this is genuinely been eye-opening for me as well, is, you know how if you like if you're a good person and you let someone down, whether it's a boyfriend, anyone, like you let someone down, you were meant to show up for this person, you were meant to do this, you let them down. If you were to go out with your mates that night, if you're a good person, you're gonna be hung up on that all night, because you're like, I let that person down. I haven't showed up for them in the way that I said that I was gonna, or the way that, and you've like broken that commitment. You are doing that, and it doesn't feel the exact same in your head, but it is the same. When you don't show up for yourself in private, whatever that looks like, whether that is keeping in balance, physically looking after yourself, mentally looking after yourself, you're not showing up for yourself. So when you're in situations like relationships, out and about with other people, just going through, you are not feeling good, and you're not operating at your higher self, because you're letting yourself down consistently. And it doesn't feel like you're doing that, but that is what you're doing. So when you're short-tempered, you really count on people's validation. This is a big thing. Other people's validation means so much to you because you've not validated yourself, and you've not showed up for yourself, and you've broken that commitment yourself. You know what? I'm on fire. There's flames coming off the mic, burning my nostrils. Let's just get into it, because the first thing that I want to get over to is my first little feature, because someone submitted a question and it was very on the money to what I wanted to talk about anyway. So before I go, because I'm going to go through points, I'm going to do points that I've learned from this hiatus that I took. But before I do that, I want to introduce my first little feature, which I'm calling the Juicy Jury. So come on over to the courtroom.
So this is kind of laughable, guys. But as you can see, guys, I'm in the headquarters of Whimsy right now. Y'all see the investigation board? This is Creativity Central. Do you see that picture of Alex Turner? Visual, by the way, guys. If you're listening to the audio, definitely pop over to see the visual, because I'm kind of serving. I've really tried to up the production budget for you guys that is involved. Okay. But yeah, when I say I was depressed and stuff, because it's hard for me to say, because this is what I'm saying. I feel like this is, I was genuinely like at one point I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I was struggling to get out of bed. I was feeling very much dark clouds of doom. But with me, like I said, the type of person I am, I was seeing the most horrific, disgusting stuff, like what ICE was doing. Oh, I can't. And imagine me seeing that and then I was thinking, get a fucking grip. Like, you have nothing to be sad about. And yeah, it is good to, be very, like, be aware of your privileged position and like be aware that you, even on your worst day, like you have things to be grateful for. That is good, but it wasn't good for me to be so harsh on myself and to also be avoiding it, because I would be like, also, like, it's obviously there's nothing wrong with me, like, come on, hey, and that's not good. You feel me? I just, yeah, like I said, I just went through a rough patch. I lost all my whimsy. It was nothing to do with you guys. You guys have been nothing but great. It was just stuff I had to deal with. And I was so out of balance with everything, even the physical. The physical has been a massive part of it, by the way, because I'm going to speak about that today. But all the shit that, your mum might have told you about, all the basics of health, they weren't lying, That stuff has a massive effect on your mental. So we're going to talk about that today. But anyway, I got a question. So this is why I'm in the Whimsy headquarters right now. I got a question, which came in before I even decided to do this episode. And I thought, oh, that is good, because we're talking about rough patches. And I went through a rough patch. And obviously, when you go through a rough patch, you do want the people that you love to stick with you through it. But a lot of the time in your rough patch, you can be a bit insufferable. So it's a good topic. So I'm going to read it out, but this is juicy jewelry. So this means because this question is very loaded, by the way, I had a peek at it and it's loaded. I want to open it up to the jury, and you're the jury, and you're gonna, I want you guys to have your say, and we're going to mull this over in the next episode, because I do genuinely, you'll see in a minute, I want to hear what you guys think on this, because I will also say trigger warning, talking about weight gain in this question. So she said, for context, I got with my boyfriend when I was in a really good space mentally and in my fitness era. I was a size 8 skinny flat stomach. No, damn. Skinny flat stomach, working out most days when I met him. We have been together for around 2 years, and over the last 8 months I've been struggling mentally, and I fell out of my gym routine and I've put on quite a lot of weight. My boyfriend has been very vocal about how he is not as attracted to me since the weight gain. Get him banned. We don't do that. No, just kidding. I'm not going to make any comment right now. It makes me feel like shit, but as he did get with me when I was super fit and skinny, I fear he has a point. My question is he valid for this, and how should I go about it? I am not personally too bothered by my weight, but I really do like my boyfriend. I'm glad you do, because I fucking don't. Kidding. Well, actually, no, I'm not kidding, but let me finish. Let myself finish. How about that? I'm saying let me finish like you guys interrupted me. The fuck? Alex Turner interrupted me. He's behind me, by the way, for the visual. He has stated that he's not as attracted to me and it's affecting our sex life. Now, it is very hard for me to not, say anything slanderous here, but at the same time, I do want to be mature about this question, because even though, the girl's girl in me is really riled up by this, I'm also aware that this is, as a topic, it's something that do you get what I'm saying? So this is why I wanted to open up to the jury of what you guys think on this, and if anyone has similar stories regarding this. I want to hear the jury on this one. How I'm going to do this is in the YouTube comments, or Spotify comments have comments now, wherever you can comment. If you're listening audibly, please do come over to one of those forms to make sure that you can get your opinion in, because they will be mulled over in the next episode, and it's going to be like a little jury. So my question is it ever okay for a partner to ask you to lose weight or change your appearance? And if so, how should they go about this? And if no, why? Also, has this happened to you or anyone? And I want to mull it over. So please submit, and I will mull them over in the next question. And I will also, from what you guys say, come up with a good answer for her. I want to do it consecutively on episodes, because I genuinely did struggle with answering that question myself. Just off the back of what she said as well, it did remind me of a topic that I did want to touch on, because I feel like I've been through like a bit of a rough patch, a down patch, and I do see a lot of my girls post things like, oh, I've been with him through ups and downs, and ride or die. Like ride or die and like staying with someone through their ups and downs is very glorified, and obviously because I follow mainly girls, I see a lot more girls being like, I've stuck with him through his ups and downs. Let's actually unpack what an up and a down is, because I feel like a lot of people don't get it. A down, maybe a rough patch, financial rough patch, losing a patch of hair, a bad day, not losing your job, not for too long now, King. Health problems, depression, bit of weight gain, bit of weight loss. Like I said, taboo, but like these things can be viewed as downs, not always. Sometimes they're good things. Job loss, hair loss, aura loss, loss of assets, loss of an ass. These are downs. Family stuff, really turbulent times. I don't know why I grabbed my tit. We're going with it. These are downs. A down, my ladies and my girls, please listen up. A down is not cheating. A down is not going to jail. These are black holes. These are plummets. So when you're saying like, oh, I've been with him through his ups and downs and his down was infidelity, you're not ride or die, you're a ride or dickhead. I'm so sorry. We can't be glorifying staying with someone through ups and downs, but the down was that you slept with 5 people behind your back. You know, we've plummeted. And sorry, the jail thing, I mean, obviously depends. We'll do that another day. We'll do that on another jury, guys. Another jury. What are you staying with someone if they go to jail? And does it depend on what they've done there? Because it's a niche one. It's a niche one, but we love a bit of a niche quiche over here. But it's the reason that is a good topic. It's good to stick with someone through their downs if you really love them, by the way. But you've got to make sure that the downs aren't edging on a dickhead. Because I was thinking this before, even my rough patch then, the rough patch over the last 6 months, would I have expected someone to stick with me? Yes, of course I would. The pussy ain't got none down. No, but you know, I would. It's got to be reciprocated as well. This is the thing, but it's a hard topic, because also as well, if you're supporting someone through their downs, you shouldn't think like this. But because it should be kind of like you're just doing it to support them, but you do, obviously the idea is that they would do the same for you if you had a little down. It's you shouldn't really test it. I don't know, maybe you should test it. If someone was, let's say like, yeah, I don't know why I keep talking about the hair loss thing. I like a bald man. I'm never going to shame anyone for losing hair. And to be honest, let's do this right now. A lot of hair loss is caused because of stress and strenuous work. If anything, that's hot. I would say shave it all off, King. You've lost it, you know. If anything, having a really thick head of hair because you've not stressed a day in your life, I'm over that. I guess I've got a bit sidetracked, but what I'm saying is make sure you're not a ride or dickhead. That's going to be a new thing on the pod. Make sure you're not a ride or dickhead. Feel free to submit. By the way, guys, I want this pod to be an open discussion. So in the comments, just go on a roll. I will reply to them all. I love to have a little bit of rigmarole and discourse with you guys. But yeah, so the jury, I will be reading all the comments and creating kind of like a document on my backdrop right now. Visual listeners, but audio listeners, you'll get a compilation. It's going to be no different. So make sure you get your comments in. I will leave them anonymous. I won't be drawing you out on the pod, so just comment on your normal account. I mean, what are you going to say that's too crazy? But yeah, I'm excited for that, so make sure you get that in. Yeah.
Hope you've got your notes out, guys, because this section I'm going to tell you all the things that have genuinely taken me from, like I said, because I'm joking all the time and like being silly, it is weird to hear me say like being in a dark place, but there's actually no other way for me to describe it. But I want to share with you every single thing that has just helped me so much, because that's what I couldn't wait to do. I couldn't wait to. So without further ado, welcome to another feature on the pod called Cunty Classroom. Visual watchers, you're seeing right now my little classroom setup. I've got my little whiteboard, brown board it is, wooden board, teacher's board. And I'm standing up like a teacher. So copyright this feature for me right now. Stood up delivering the podcast. Who's doing that? This is my idea. Copyrighted. Number 1, go away for a little while to remember how to feel. Remember I told you the song of the week was Blue Denim, Stevie Nicks, right? And that's one of the lyrics. And genuinely, I cannot explain to you how important it is, I think, to pull back in order to go forward. And remember that thing that I said about how do not be scared of taking time away because you feel like it's going to set you back behind people. Like I said, don't be surprised when 1 month of aligned action brings so much more than years of hustle and grind. Now, I'm not tone deaf influencer sat here being like, just pull back, take some time off your job. I know so many of you can't do that, and I find it so insufferable when people are like, just take like a little solo trip. Just take yourself a coffee in the middle of Monday. A lot of you can't, most of my listeners can't bloody do that. And I know you've got jobs, so I don't mean just go on a whim and quit your job and do all this. You've got these commitments that you can't stray away from. I mean, pull back from social things that you feel like are draining your energy. All the things that you feel like are drains that you can pull back from, pull back, and do not worry about the fact that you feel like it's gonna set you back. If you feel like you're doing a load of maybe you're a content creator, I don't know, whatever you're doing with work, if you're doing a load of extra stuff that you don't need to do because you feel like you're in grind mode, remember, a little bit of time away to align and really like get to grip with other things, which I'm going to talk about, is going to put you ahead. Also consider this fact, the reason that you don't have what you want right now might be because you're not ready for what you want, but instead of focusing on being ready for what you want, you're focused on getting it prematurely. But if you had it prematurely and you had it now, you would fumble it. Do you want me to run it back? A lot of the time, if I had everything that I wanted right now, if I had, like, I used to sit and write in my delusion diary, I want £1 million, like I'm ready for the million, I'm visualizing the million, I can see the million. And I had Klarna texting my line telling me that I was 3 months too late. I didn't even know how to do a tax return, and I'm sat there in my delusion diary going, £1 million is coming to me, I can see it. God was sat there belly laughing, and it's not that I was never going to make a mill. Who knows? My goals have switched up now. I don't really think $1 million doesn't really tempt me anymore. $1 million pussy. You're kind of like, you often, what you think you want, you're not ready for, but instead of taking the steps to be ready, you're sat manifesting it now, and you're pissed that you're not getting it now, and you're seeing other people getting it now, and you're like, why not me? You're not ready, and because you're in delusion that you're not ready. For example, if I got the man that I wanted when I wanted him, I would have fumbled him. I would have fumbled him good and proper. I would have scared him away. He wouldn't have been able to withstand the hellscape of the mindset that I was in. And as an onlooker, like, I would have told him, King, you need to protect your peace. She's not going to protect your peace. Hey, I would have protected his peace. You know what I'm saying? But I would have. Yeah, he wouldn't have been able to withstand the hellscape. But I still wanted him back then. Do you get what I'm saying? So you've got to consider that you might not be ready for what you want, but you've got to enjoy that process. Point 2. Get a grip of the physical basics, okay? Physical is connected to the mental. And you know what? For so long, I genuinely was like, I don't think, this is so bad. Little tiny things that now are so ingrained in me, I can't imagine life without them. And it's been quite quick for me. For a lot of people, it'll take a lot longer. But like, genuinely, I don't think I drank like more than 2 glasses of water a day, ever. I just was like, kind of like invincible. Little things like that. I wasn't eating my greens with every meal. Now I can't imagine it. Sticking to your morning and evening routines, healthy eating, drinking water, having a fitness goal, looking after your hygiene, pampering and personal care, and like taking good care of your space. These things are massively glossed over when you're talking to people with mental issues and mental downs, because you think it's not connected. It's massively connected, and it literally has such a boost. And sorting all those things out, every single area, you sleep, little things like that, has just massively just like excelled me and allowed me to work on the other things. Like, I was wondering why I couldn't like spend time working on my mental health, and it was because I wasn't even getting enough sleep, I wasn't eating healthy, I wasn't doing all these things, and now I genuinely can't remember. You got to do it slowly, but also as well, what happens is when you're treating your body, like, it's very spiritual, like when you're treating your body with love, it loves you back. Hey! Point 3, get a grip of your mental health, but you need to be aware of what that is. You need to make a list, okay? Become the girl with the list of all the things that are attacking your mind. For me, I've swore for so long that I didn't have anxiety. I swear I talked about that on the podcast, being like, anxiety just doesn't affect me. Anxiety has gripped me in so many areas. It's just because it didn't show up in areas that I saw in other people. So other people, I saw them being like gripped by anxiety, like after a date, they're like, what if he doesn't like me? What if he doesn't? Bitch, I never had that thought. But I swear I used to be cocky about it. Like, I've never ever once been anxious around a guy. The fuck? Hey, man, she's a what? And then also, like social anxiety. I would never, I could stand up in a room. I've done my shows, for God's sake. I've not got, but then I was crippled by this awful like health and safety anxiety, constantly thinking of the worst thing that was ever going to happen to me. Health anxiety has crippled me for so long, and it just sounds literally ridiculous. You know what? The other day, actually, I have a favourite doctor. She is just the baddest bitch on the planet. She is just the nicest doctor ever. She validates you in such a way where you feel like a little child again. Like whenever see her, like, and it'll be sometimes about things that, you know, just I'll be like, I like a bit of a headache, and she's like, oh my love, like I'm so sorry, and is it okay if I just touch that there? And it does it, that sounds patronising. It's not patronising. It's in like a really, like, she'll be like, oh, you had and she's the sweetest lady. So I request her every time. I call up the GP and I say, hey, I needed an appointment today, and they go, well, you can have I'm like, don't care, where's Rick? Where's my favourite doctor? And I will genuinely wait for an appointment with her. I waited for an appointment with her, and the lady on the phone was like, perfect, like, we'll book you in. Just can you like tell us what it's about roughly, just so we can like let her know? And I listed the physical things that I was struggling with. Like I wanted my boobs checked because I was having a bit of a scared about that. I wanted me lower abdomen checked because I was having a scared about that, and then I wanted a few moles checked. And you know what she said to me on the phone? She went, all right then, I'll just put it down to mental health. But I didn't say that though, did I? You clowning me? You taking the mick out of me? Don't care, where's Rick? You should put it down to mental health. So when I saw the doctor, I was like, it's not me mental health. I have a feel in my boobs. Basically, obviously getting your boobs checked is very important. Everyone should get the boobs checked, right? But basically, you know how like lumps is a sign of boob cancer, commonly known as breast cancer. Sorry, boob cancer. I was feeling, I need to stop doing it. I'm doing it physically in the visual. It's not good. I was feeling, and I was like, oh my God, I can feel lots of lumps. In fact, the whole thing feels like a lump. It's malignant. And I was stressing myself out because every time I felt, I could just feel more and more lumps. And then the whole thing started to feel like a big, massive lump. And I was like, it's gone past the point. So, and I know that's stupid. Like, you guys are going to think that's stupid, but that's just how I feel. Because, like I said, long story short, titties are lumpy. And that's not how it feels. But I wanted her to just cop a little feel of it. Do you know what I'm saying? And also, how funny is it in the doctors when you go in, and I've always had women doctors whenever it's anything like intimate and stuff, like if you need like a little finger up the bum or anything like that. Don't look at me weird like you haven't had that done, please. Like I said, maybe you haven't, whatever. But they ask you whenever they're like whenever the doctors are copping a feel, they'll go, do you want a chaperone? So another person can see up my ass. I'm okay, thanks. But then I realised how good that is, because it's for if you feel uncomfortable. Like I guess it's, I mean, they shouldn't, but I'm guessing it's so the other person, like the main doctor, doesn't go too far with it. So, like, but I thought that was actually really sweet sentiment. But because I've always had a female doctor that I feel really comfortable with, I've been like, I don't want anyone else seeing this. And it's also so funny because they put a curtain round and it's just me and you in the room. Who are we protecting from? Is it from the computer? I've sidetracked myself. Anxiety, right? Okay. So yeah, anxiety crippled me. But guys, I have genuinely, I'm not joking, I feel like my mic is coming apart here. What is going on? I have, so yeah, shut the fuck up, bitch. Get away. I have the biggest tip for anxiety ever, okay? Now, but you need to make a list of what yours are, because yours might not be anxiety, but mine was not just anxiety, by the way, but I'm just saying, as an example, you need to pinpoint things to get a grip of. This is the one trick that has helped with anxiety, and now every time I get anxiety, it completely gets it away. And I was reading a book called The Artist Way, and it basically said, if you make your anxiety voice, whether it's social anxiety or like insecurities and stuff like that, if you make the anxiety voice this little goblin character, cartoon character, and every time it speaks, so basically every time I would have an anxiety attack, I would imagine that the anxiety voice was, you know, that, what's he called, Three Fingers or something from The Wrong Turn, that fucking goofball. I made it him, and every time I got an anxious thought, he was like, you've got a tumor because you got a headache. I was like, shut up, you little goofy thumb looking ass. And it just genuinely, it makes, so if you make the anxiety like a little character, you then start to view it as a clown. So every time I would get this thought, those people don't like you very much. Yeah, they're judging you. Shut up, goofy bitch. You're jealous, you onion-looking bitch. And then I started to bully my own anxiety. Listen, I started to be like, you little rat, look at you trying to ruin my day again, you little thumb. And I genuinely just gagged me anxiety, and it's such a helpful tip. I've passed it on to all my friends. Genuinely, if you just make it some little ugly, rancid goofball who every time you start to get this anxiety attack, you're just like, oh, get a load of this guy rearing his ugly thumb-ass head up. Shut it. And what I also did was then, because you'll know you have to differentiate, but then when it was like a gut instinct, you can get good gut instincts that are protecting you, but you make that something good. So that's like the voice of God. Like, so the anxiety that's like, you've got 10 days to live, you fucking bitch. This is what mine's like. Mine's like a little stay thumb. What's he called? Your ugly character, that's like the really like crippling, like, those people don't like you and you might as well leave this place because no one likes you actually. Whereas for the voice of like the gut instinct, I had someone that I find is like an authority figure, honestly, quite someone hot. Jason Statham is mine, right? Which is not too far of a jump from the other guy. No, it is, but 3 fingers, Statham. You see what I did there? And so every time, like, I get like, but then, so that's like a positive protecting voice. That's like, well, you should just, like, don't do anything right now, but just keep an eye on this person. Don't worry, but just, keep an eye on them. That's him. But then when it's like, no one likes you and you're going to die tomorrow from some sort of tumor, that's the fucking little onion. And it really does help, guys. I'm not even joking. If I sound like I've lost it, there could be a chance of that as well. Now, I also have to mention, I'm going to do, like I mentioned, that I'm going to, the Patreon exclusive podcast called Aftercare, I'm going to talk about my relationship with God as well, because that has come into things massively. But I understand that not everyone would necessarily want to hear about that and stuff. And I thought, because that's going to be completely specific, I'll just do a little faith journey. That is going to be on Aftercare. Aftercare is girls only exclusive Patreon that's going to be full of so much stuff. But yeah, it's currently going to be little niche specific episodes of Aftercare, so that'll be linked in the description and stuff if you want to go see that. But I had to mention that because that's come into it a lot as well, because my anxiety was getting pathetic. It was getting to the point where I would genuinely, like, it was getting pathetic, and people were starting to say, you can't be serious. And I was like, you know what, it's getting to the point, I'm going to make him an ugly thumb-ass looking bitch, and I'm going to bully it. And now it's like some clown, so when it rears up now, I'm like, oh, here he goes, get a job. So it's pretty good, guys. You should try it. I've got something else that I need to tell you about as well. Expand your whimsy palette. So what is the whimsy palette? Because I talk a lot about whimsy, and people use that word. I've seen quite a few people use it now. And I don't want to say that it's like because of me and stuff, but I also do want to say that. But like, whimsy to me means more than what it means to you. Not to get pretentious, but it does. So when you are consuming more than you create, and I don't mean content creating, I mean if you're consuming doom scrolling, just watching loads of stuff and not actually doing anything other than just consuming a load of stuff, and you're not creating anything in your own life, you do become a bit of just like a boring like rat, and you don't have any vibe. And especially as well when you get every form of inspiration, opinions, media, taste from other people, from your like doom scrolling and all stuff. When you're like that, then I wonder if people can hear me because I'm shouting so loud. You lose a sense of self. I'm not slandering those people. It is nice to take inspiration from others. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying. But I'm saying there is such a power and like such a peace. And this has actually helped me, like I said, with my mental health, literally, in just resetting and actually like figuring out what you like. And one of the ways that you're going to laugh, guys, but I don't care. One of the ways that read The Artist's Way. This is just a genuine, like, really good book that I recommend, because I got the character idea from that as well. Create more than you consume. Pour into yourself more than you pour in to others and other things. And I know that can be hard, especially if you're a mum, if you're looking after someone, if you've got someone who's relying on you. You will typically be pouring into them more than yourself. So that might be hard, but please make sure that you make a list of how you're pouring into your own cup. It's not fair to just pour into everyone else's and not your own. And then also, fill your day with lots of non-sexual orgasms. Yes, ma'am. I'm not joking. So basically, I've made a list of I just call them non-sexual orgasms, right? Because it's like when you enter flow state and it's something that you've got to fill your day with these things to help you look forward to every day and help you have a bit of whimsy. I actually want to open this up to you guys to hear what you guys non-sexual orgasms are. So for example, for me, this is really simple one, slithering into fresh bedding lathered in Nivea Soft. Fresh new bedding, new PJs. This is so easy to emulate. Like I said, I got some new fresh bedding from Asda George on sale. Delicious. Nutmeg, by the way, Nutmeg is Morrison's like linen range tea. Must have cost me like £12 for king size. Delish. New PJs, fresh body cream. Use the body cream that sat rotten in your bathroom because you're saving it for a good occasion. Good occasion being a sneaky link. Pfft, the good time is now. You better use it. Another non-sexual orgasm. Guitar solos. Oh my god. So guys, I'm actually going to talk more about music on these episodes because music is like, I don't want to be weird and like sound like I'm being dramatic, but music is life-changing. I don't care. And if you don't feel like that, it's because you only listen. I'm not slandering people who do this. Again, there is obviously good chart music right now, but if you only listen to what comes up on your feed and like who's charting or who's won a Brit, and you don't expand your palette at all, I'm not calling you anything. I'm just saying you're missing out so much. And bearing in mind the amount of old music, and not to be one of those people that's just like old music is the best. I'm not just saying that for the sake of it. Just expand your palette. Music is so powerful. But I've recently been switching from like just listening to lyrics and stuff and songs that I like lyrically to actually appreciating the musical accompaniment, because especially with old bands, like I said, I'm not just trying to be all like, I know old bands and I'm edgy. But old bands, like so many of them especially, and this is why they have such like a reputation, is the musical talent. Some of these frontmen in these bands, and I will talk about them, I'll do a whole episode, like not a whole episode, but I'll do a whole section on it. They're the most talented people ever. So I've been collecting a playlist of all my favorite guitar solos, and it's genuinely orgasmic to listen to. I'm not even joking. It takes me to some sort of like euphoric state that I'm not even joking. So that's just one other thing I had to say. And then also laughing is a sexual experience. I don't care. Laughing properly with someone, by the way. I've never had someone cheat on me that I know of. Every time I say that, by the way, I'll be talking to someone like a guy, usually it's always a guy actually, and I'll be like, I've never been cheated on, and they go, yeah, that you know of, and I'm like, you fucking freak. One, I don't care, because if it's happened behind my back, like I said, I'm not with them now, so it's fine. But two, it's so scary that every guy seems to think every guy cheats. I don't think that. I don't want to subscribe to that negative narrative. Okay, but yeah, so whatever, it might have happened, who knows. Any of my exes listening, drop in the comments if you did. I want to know. Just yeah, I've never had that situation, but like if like to me, laughing with someone is such a form of intimacy. If I ever walked in on like a girl like giving my king like a blowjob, honestly, thank you, queen, rather you than me, but if I walked in on like someone like cracking up laughing with my king, oh god, I think I'd collapse. No, that's too far. I don't want to wish that on me, actually, no, because I don't want to speak that into existence. But laughing is everything, and the more you laugh, so if you can inject little areas of laugh, I will talk more about this. You're gonna feel like that point was irrelevant, because the reason I wanted to tease the whimsy point, my next episode, which is next week, like I said, guys, I'm locked in with this podcast now. You're not going anywhere. Is gonna be, I'm not gonna tell the title, but it's gonna be all about how to expand your whimsy palette and what that means, because it's such a big thing and it just sounds so goofy when I'm saying it. But I want to hear in the comments, because I'm going to next episode again, I'm going to read these out and mull them over, so you're going to get like a little guest spot on the pod. So you're going to get involved with the pod. I want you to list your non-sexual orgasms. So this can be something really simple that you do where you like hit flow state and it just feels really good. I also want this to be helpful to other people, so please actually drop yours, because people might be like, oh, that sounds fun, I'll try that, and it's just a really nice thing to do. So yeah, drop in the comments.
Guys, as I go through the episodes, I'm going to continue to share with you things that have helped me to get out of the state that I was in. Because one thing I didn't want to do was talk loads about how low like I've been feeling, because I feel like it's never going to sound as bad as it probably was anyway, because I'm always just joking about stuff. But I didn't want it to be some sort of sob story, especially with everything that's like, it just doesn't feel right to even go down that route with everything that's going on in even in the world at the minute. I know I've gone on about this like a broken record, but But what I wanted to do was just have it to be helpful. And one thing that's been really really freeing for me, that's all I can say, is like, it's been so freeing, is, and part of like a healing journey in a way, is, as you guys know, and you guys like when I do that, because guys, I fear that this section of the pod you're probably gonna like the most. By the way, if you're enjoying the pod so far, guys, whatever you're listening on or watching or anything, give me a little like, or a little comment, whatever, to help the algorithm. It goes a long way. Thank you so much. I don't know why I sounded like Shakira when I said that. But yeah, is revisiting my old like lore, because I feel like it can be really embarrassing, right? Especially because when you're younger, I talk about this a lot, when you're younger, you are a lot more optimistic, and you tend to dream bigger, because life hasn't slapped you with that reality of like, oh, a lot of people don't ever get their dreams and goals, and like life's a lot harder than you think when you're younger. So you do dream really big, and you do think you can do it all. And I definitely did. Like I got so much lore. Like I said, guys, I had my music video era, I had my modeling era. These eras just they used to haunt me, because I was like, oh, it's kind of embarrassing to be, posting up these like modeling videos and like have Victoria calls. No, they fucking haven't. Waiting. Doing all these self-tapes and then posting them. But what's been really healing is revisiting that era and just being like, you know what an absolute gangster for giving that a go. And obviously I've just had so many things where I've tried something and I thought, what a really fun feature, just healing and what for me, healing for me, hopefully also harrowing for me, but also fun, would be to take the revisiting my old lore, which I kind of have done on TikTok, where I've reacted to old pictures and captions and stuff. But yeah, bring revisiting my old lore to the podcast, and every single week bring up a new video of because when I tell you the amount of old lore I have, whether it's really old YouTube videos, self-tapes, there's so many self-tapes of me doing acting auditions, modeling videos, music videos. I thought every single episode we can uncover a piece of my lore and just react to it together. So by the way, this will still be good for your audio listeners, because this, unfortunately, today, I haven't seen it, by the way, guys, because as in I haven't watched it before this pod. I wanted it to be raw. What it is, and my friend, I had sent this to my friend who is a film director, by the way, so I've known him for ages. So he had this self-tape. This is when I was auditioning for a singing role, okay? There is a visual, because this is a visual self-tape, but obviously you'll just be able to hear it if you're listening. I used to get quite a few auditions through for quite big auditions when I had my acting agent. So this one would have been probably for like a singing role, and I was like, yeah, I can sing. And I genuinely, on my Spotlight CV, I put I genuinely was like triple threat. And my agent at the time was like, maybe don't tick like the skills that you can't do. And I was like, well, I'll just learn them. The fuck? Sarah Day Lewis, are you playing? Like, I just method act. I ticked, I could do all the accents. I could speak all languages, tick them, because then I thought, I don't want to pigeonhole myself. I thought, I'll tick everything that I can do. And then if a role comes through being like, well, you have to be Scottish, I'll be like, no fucking bother, mate. Do you see how we're falling at the first hurdle? But what I'm trying to say is, I was like, I'll just learn for the audition. I thought I'd cracked the bloody code. So when it said, can you sing? And you know how there's different levels of singing, like falsetto, pronto, Alfredo, and all that, and whatever it is. And can you sing in like an upper, whatever it is. I don't know the terms. Let me Google it. Sopranos, mezzo-sopranos, altos, tenos. So I ticked all of those boxes, imagine. This is the level. You don't understand the level of delusion. But I don't want to be mean and say it was delusion, but like, whatever. So basically, I got a self-tape through for this film, which was quite a big film. I don't even know if I can say what film it was. This is, like I said, this was way back when, and they were like, the actress needs to be able to sing. And I was like, well, good thing I'm a goddamn soprano. Oh! And I was like, yeah, I'm the girl for the job. So this blind reaction, this is my self-tape. I've not seen this since I sent it off. It is worth me saying before I start this, I cannot sing. And it's okay, I've come to terms with it now. I've got many other good qualities, don't make me list them. I cannot sing. It's fine. but yeah, let's have a play of this. No, guys, also, right, this is random thing. So in the audition, the self-tape rules, they were like, you can pick whatever song you want. I presume most people would have been picking musicals. I don't know what they do for auditions. Guess what song I picked to sing? And it was just what I was going through at the minute. At the moment. I picked Unfaithful by Rihanna. Story of my life. Let's just play the goddamn track. I had it black and white because I was like, it was kind of like a period piece. By the way, you should not do this, audition people. When I read that it was like a film set in like the 90s, whatever, I was like, oh, I'm going to make the self-tape black and white because I'm going to really transport them through time. That's what I thought would happen. I was like, I'll transport them through time so they feel like they're really in it. And then I had like ratty hair extensions and big eyelashes and like plump lips. It's a period drama. It's a period piece. Period. Bitch. Oh my God. And also, by the way, I feel like I got my friend to add auto-tune to this. I'm not even joking. I will actually confirm.
If you record your name and
I got him to add auto-tune to it. I'm going to ring him now and see if that he did. Hello, dude.
Dude, why are you still hiding your number, dude?
Dude, no, I'm going to turn it off, dude. Dude, I'm recording the podcast right now, dude. So I'm not going to put this bit in, but I'm about to react to the unfaithful thing, right? Did confirm, dude? Because I can't remember if we did in the end or not. Did you add auto-tune to it?
Yeah.
Dude, how much, dude?
No, just a little bit.
Okay, dude, because I didn't know, dude. I'm
Even natural.
so it won't be too obvious. All right, dude. I'll call you after, dude. I'm finished filming, dude. But I'm gonna react to this harrowing stuff because I've not watched it since you sent it to me.
Story of my life.
Dude, I'll call you after, dude. I'm nearly done.
Dude, it's not even bad, dude. It's not even bad.
Dude, I feel like I'm just because I know genuinely in my mindset when I recorded it was like, I am a triple threat, like soprano. I'll do it like genuinely because I know how I was feeling at the time. I know for a fact, dude, it's gonna be a harrowing watch, dude. But I'll call you after.
All right, dude.
Story of my life, searching for the right, but it keeps avoiding me.
You can hear the auto, dude. And look at me with one earphone in, genuinely closing my eyes, soaking in the fact that I'm a triple threat. Oh, good grief. And the black and white.
Sorry in my soul, cause it seems that wrong.
The look to camera.
Sorry.
Someone should have bullied me. Why did no one no, that's mean.
And he's more than a man, and this is more than love.
You can literally hear that I've got asthma, dude. Imagine adding auto-tune and still sounding bad. But like I said, I'm not roasting myself and being horrible because you don't understand how many good qualities I've got. Don't worry about me. Like, don't worry about commenting that I'm tragic for this. I don't care.
And he's more than a man, and this is more than love. The reason that the sky is blue, the clouds are
Okay, Olivia Dean.
the clouds are rolling in because I'm gone.
When you don't know where to look, because like everywhere around you just see like your name in lights.
And to him I just can't be true, cause I know that he knows.
Oh, see that true?
I know that he knows I'm unfaithful.
Wait, the end 8. He added more auto-tune. I know he did. Listen to that.
Cause I know that he knows I'm unfaithful.
And imagine I cut it there. I'm not joking. I cut it there, submitted it to the audition. Not only did I not hear anything ever again from them, I never got any more auditions from that same company. Letting you know right now, you should have asked me to sing in falsetto. It was the soprano that fucked me up, you dickhead. And yeah, to be honest, at the time I said to my friend, I was like, the audition people, they won't be able to know that like you've put a bit of auto-tune on this.
Sorry in my soul, cause it seems that wrong.
The audacity to smile on the hook like you're eating it up, when really you're butchering one of the greatest songs. You dickhead. This is why you don't tell cute little girls like me, I'm talking about when I was younger, by the way, to believe in themselves. No, I'm not. I know, I'm just kidding, but
this was meant to be for a period piece. By the way, guys, unfortunately, there's more where that came from. And when I say more, the amount of self-tapes that I have along these lines, there is more. So all I can say is, buckle up, buckle in.
What I want to say, guys, is even though like I'm not in the room with you, I genuinely do love you guys. When I say I'm not in the room with you, it's because whenever I'm filming, I do feel like I just love my audience so much, and I think I am very blessed in a way to have attracted I genuinely as well, yeah, you guys, I don't have a toxic like audience. I don't know, I can't describe it. I feel like I just magnet the whimsy up. So I love you guys so much, and I'm so grateful if you've listened to this. Like I said, it would make my day so much and help me so much if you have enjoyed it, obviously, to like let me know in some way, because it does help the algorithm so much, whether that's a comment or sharing to your story that you're listening, tag me, I'll repost them all. Helps me so much. Hitting the hype on YouTube helps, and then anything, adding to your playlist on Spotify, all this kind of stuff, tapping around helps so much, and it would mean so much, especially on the first episode, because that is something that I did worry about. Not worry about, but you know. And then also, yeah, I did want to talk and put some points, because my like faith relationship with like faith and God and stuff has been a big part of it, but I didn't want to put it on the main episode, and I definitely will talk about it on the main episode 100%, because it's a big part of my life. This isn't new, by the way, as well. OGs will know this, but I wanted to do like a specific little aftercare episode on that, so I'm gonna include like a little clip of what aftercare is. It's going to be a girls only little community, which is an extra exclusive podcast where after each of these episodes we unwind, we get into pajamas, we get into my bed set, which you'll see. I'll do a little clip, and yeah, like I said, I'm going to literally keep it £3 a month, like super affordable for you guys. And obviously if you don't want to, then nothing's going to be taken away from the main podcast at all. So because I don't want to have it something where it's like it's constant, like the main podcast every second I'm like, well, the rest is on Patreon. It's going to be something different, but also for the girlies that want a bit more. And that's a full-length episode. I've done another 44-minute episode. I don't know how long this one is, but it's a 44-minute episode on there, on aftercare. So that's what that is, and you can join that from the link in the description of wherever you're watching or listening to this podcast. But let me know if you've enjoyed this and you're happy to be back. I'm so excited for the next episode already. I've got so much planned for that. So same time here. Make sure you're subscribed, following on everything. And genuinely, it's really nice to be back. I didn't want to do like I didn't want it to be an episode of like that you guys feel sorry for me, because I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me at all. In fact, you shouldn't. And like I said, especially with everything that's going on right now, I do want to put some helpful, useful link. I feel like I want as well in each episode for there to be in my description some link to maybe some sort of fundraiser or something that is going on where someone might need help or anything. So if anyone has any, this is a weird way to ask, but if anyone has anything that they feel like I don't know, someone's GoFundMe or something that they would like, or maybe if there's a charity that you know is doing really good work in the world right now in a certain area, just send them over to me. I want to try and in every episode have it somewhere in the description. But yeah, I love you guys a lot, and I'm so happy to be back. I'm not going anywhere. You can trust me again. Give me a fat kiss. Tell me you love me, and I'll see you next week.
Hey guys, welcome to Aftercare.
As promised, here's a little sneak peek of the aftercare episode, which is now live on Patreon, link in the description if you want a little bit of aftercare after the main episode.
Deep down, and I know this, I can say this now because I know but you're sat here judging a single mother. Yeah, so I think around 19, 20. And guys, I don't want to get upset because I don't think I actually realised how much it actually did rock my world. Like, I was depressed because I think he died when I was like 10ish. You understand why people can are relieved in those situations, because you don't want to see the person that you love so much in so much pain. I actually still think I probably need to deal with a bit of grief in that sense. Yeah, I just remember, like, for as long as I can remember, I've been craving this kind of like something, and even on my best day, I still was just craving some extra piece, something.